smile. You're being seen, but we're waiting. We're not streaming yet. Come on, LinkedIn. Come on, Facebook. Okay, we've got 2 Facebook pages up. We've got LinkedIn, and we're waiting. YouTube is always the last to go. I don't know why. Come on, YouTube. You can do it. You can do it. Still sending data. We'll take it. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. Okay, Matt, let's count backwards from 10, and then I'll start the music. Everybody ready? Join us. 10,
10,
9,
9, 8,
8. This is instead of a fancy countdown
7,
clap. 7, 6, 5,
5,
4. It's going to be a
4,
long day.
Three,
3, 2,
two,
2,
1.
1.
Here we go. Okay, it's magic.
Where does yesterday's future, which is already here, meet today's future, which is about to happen, and tomorrow's future, which could be just minutes away? Welcome to Technology Revolution, the future of now, where host Bonnie D. Graham asks savvy futurists for their predictions about the tech-driven trends that are shaping our future right now. Here's your host, who will take us into the future of now, Bonnie D. Graham.
Thank you to the voice of Ryan Treasure. Happy to be here. I'm Bonnie D, and this is my special place on Wednesday morning. I've been doing the show for so many years, I lost count. I think this is show number 9,000 or 10,000, something like that. I have a wonderful panel of very interesting people today. We always focus on the future of something and AI, an industry, a lifestyle, a skill, a creative genre. Well, today, I hope nobody's offended by this, but we're talking about the future of female entrepreneurs and AI. And I think it's about time I did this kind of a panel. I have a lot of females on my panels, but this is just special today. And I'm going to welcome my guests with, and by the way, shout out to Matt, our engineer today at Voice America. I'm going to start off the show with my usual, although these ladies haven't heard it unless they've listened to the show. By the way, everybody, wave hello to LinkedIn, wave hello to Facebook, wave hello to YouTube. We have to be very friendly here. Okay, we are streaming. Now, I'm going to read my opening rhyme. I'm not calling it a poem. I have to be very careful about that. And when I call your name, just smile. That's all. Okay, here we go. Welcome to Technology Revolution, the future of now, where AI powers new businesses and will predict how. With Bonnie D on her Scarlett Mic steering the way, and 3 savvy futurists on her panel today. Amanda Proscia, Brea Woodson, and Cindy Zuelsdorf, too, on the future of female entrepreneurs and AI, sharing insights with you. Their passion, their power, and their success may help you design how AI can also help your company shine. Here we go. Amanda Proscia. From Gettysburg's halls with an editor's eye, Amanda made PR and strategy just fly. She's penned for the powerhouses, execs, and elite. From Burson to Interbrand, Amanda's writing was fleet. At Amex, she shaped how their leaders connect with messages crafted for lasting effect. Now Lightspeed's her launch pad with strategy bold, where content and insight are expertly told. With her book, PR Confidential, Amanda lifts the veil, revealing the craft behind each polished tale. Amanda, what'd you think?
Fantastic. Do you want a job? I'll hire you.
I'm looking for work. We'll talk after the show. And now it's time for Brea Woodson. From Dodge, Nebraska, where her roots run deep, Brea saw solopreneurs who were losing sleep. So she crafted a plan, clear, smart, and sound, to help cut through the chaos with purpose profound. With wisdom gleaned from her Fortune 500 paths and her dad's small biz savvy in his aftermath, Brea's GRT framework lifts brands with grace, guiding innovative souls to find their own pace. With clarity, calm, and data that sings, Brea helps passion-led founders spread their confident wings. Brea, what'd you think?
Love it.
I'm
Very
glad.
impressive.
I'm glad. Okay, I'll tell you who Sylvia is later, my collaborator. Cindy is back. She hasn't been on the show in years. I've been chasing you, saying, come back, come back, come back. And you finally said, okay, I'm here. So at Madison's ABC TV affiliate, young Cindy learned the show where her parents worked. Dad was in tech, mom was in the traffic flow. From hockey to telethon productions, Cindy helped on the crew and dreamed up a future in a broadcast breakthrough. Now at her company, Kokoro, did I say it right?
Kokoro, yeah.
Kokoro. Cindy blends heart and AI, helping small businesses soar and burnout say bye-bye. From lead gen to chatbots, Cindy's systems serve and support. Cindy automates success, the savviest sort. With tools that align both strategy and soul, Cindy helps visionaries shine and stay in control. What'd you think?
Oh man, tools that align. Strategy and soul. You are crushing it, Bonnie.
I got new text for all of your marketing. Ladies, so buckle in, dear audience. We've only just begun as AI meets future female entrepreneurs with wisdom and fun. Bonnie D and our futurists, the journey is ours to drive. Together, let's explore how AI can help your business thrive. So, do we get a thumbs up on the openings, ladies? What do you think?
Outstanding.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll tell Sylvie that you liked it, and I'll tell you after the show who Sylvie really is, but I think you have an idea. She takes a massive amount of text, like 1,000 words, and brings me back rhyming stanzas. And I want you all to know I usually do 8 lines, but I know there was so much in your bios that I asked her to do 10 lines this time. So this is different. And what I do is I take what she sends me and I go back to your bios and I compare fact by fact, line by line, and I change a lot. So I am the collaborator, but I'm the initiator. I want you to know, and you've all figured it out by now. So, ladies, I'm delighted to have you here. We have so much to talk about. So, let's go around the table and find out a little more about you. Want to hear you speak. Amanda, you are up first. And I want to thank, we have Sarah to thank for you. Why don't you just do a shout out to Sarah on your team for bringing you to me? She recommended you. She did the PR for you. And I said, we need Amanda on the show. So, Amanda, I'm putting you on speaker view. Would you please go ahead and just give us a little more about yourself? Welcome.
Yes, thank you so much. As you wonderfully and mellifluously introduced me, I do public relations and have for, oh boy, more than 30 years now. I have my own agency for about the last 12 years with a co-founder, and we have an incredible team of people who include the magnificent Sarah Thorson. She and all the other talented people on my team help us to make Lightspeed what it is, and it's a pleasure to be here today.
Thank you. Tell us, how did you name Lightspeed? Where'd you come up with that?
Well, that was actually my co-founder's innovation. He's a big Star Wars fan, and that is a line lifted from something Han Solo says in Star Wars, which I actually did not find out about until I agreed to the name. But it does work very well for us. We're actually known among our clients as being very speedy and getting things done a lot faster than a lot of our competition. So now I love the name.
Very interesting. See, these are the backstories we're looking for. And your target client base, what kinds of companies do you work with, Amanda, if you can tell us?
Yeah, we focus on tech PR, but tech in all of its iterations. We do, AI and cloud and SaaS and robotics and gadgets and, ad tech, health tech, fintech, anything in the tech world.
Thank you very much. Glad to have you here. And by the way, I'm an early woman in tech, which I didn't know was a claim to fame until I was the first speaker on International Women's Day, March 8th, 2023, for the group Women in Big Data. And they asked me to speak, and I brought up my old COBOL handbook and the green bar paper. I used to debug the core dumps from my programs when once in a while they would abend, not often, and everything. I brought it up in pictures of mainframe computers. I was working on a Xerox Sigma 6 CP5 mainframe, which was as big as a warehouse, and coding and key punching my deck on the 80-column Hollerith cards. And somebody said to me, "You're an early woman in tech." And I said, "Thank you very much. I are.
If you've got a COBOL handbook,
I still do. I still do. Yeah. Silver
it's
cover
legit.
and everything. Thank you very much. And thank you, Amanda. Pleasure to meet you. Brea, you're coming to us through Tammy Schaefer, who has been on my show a couple of times. Wonderful, Tammy. And I said, "Tammy, come be on this panel." And she said, "I can't be there, but I have got somebody great for you." It's Brea. So Brea, please tell us more about yourself and welcome.
Yeah, Tammy's great. She's a client, has become a good friend and connector. So thank you for having me here. Yeah, I have GRT marketing, and we help service-based solopreneurs just kind of get a hold of their marketing, turning the mayhem into a process, putting some framework around that. So our goal is to contain the squirrels that are all around us and get some systems in place.
GRT, where'd the name come from?
So GRT stands for Gain, Retain, Thrive. And to me, it was important
Wait a
to,
second. Did you see everybody's mouths go up and like, did you see that? That was a key. In comedy, Brea, they say don't step on the line. If somebody's laughing, don't step on the applause and the laughter. That was an aha eureka moment. So say it again. What does it stand for?
it stands for Gain, Retain, Thrive.
Love it. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Thanks. I
Tell us
built a
more.
framework all around it. And to me, when I started GRT marketing, it was important for me to convey that marketing is holistic. It's not just about advertising. It's not just about posting on social media. It's really about gaining the clients, bringing them in, retaining them. That's the part most people miss in the whole marketing scheme. And then thriving as a business. And that's just using the tools, using analytics, and optimizing everything that we've learned. So bring in AI and all the things. So yeah, gain, retain, thrive.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Glad to have you here. I'm going to gallery view. And Cindy, it's your turn. Cindy, you were on my show at least 3 years ago with another panel, and you stayed on my radar all these years. And I think I contacted you about 6 months ago. Come back, come back. No, I can't. No, I can't. You were very busy. And I said, you got to be here today. So, Cindy, welcome back. Let's pretend you and I just met. Why don't you tell us a little about how you named your company? I know there's a great origin story there. Cindy, welcome. Go ahead.
Good to see you, Bonnie. Yeah, Kokoro marketing. Kokoro means heart, mind, and spirit. And the reason I picked that name is because when we're doing any kind of sales or marketing, and I figure marketing's a lot of sales written down, and marketing should start a sales conversation, we have to understand what's in the heart, what's in the mind, what's in the spirit of our prospect. Because otherwise, why do it? Why communicate unless we understand what the other people care about? So that's what Kokoro means, heart, mind, and spirit.
And when did you start the company, Cindy? How far back?
Right at the end of 2014, actually. I know, right? It's been a minute.
Been a minute. Yeah, go ahead.
I've been working in high tech selling equipment to TV stations, video facilities, video providers, that kind of thing. And so I did that for quite a while and I loved it. And then I left and started my own business, sort of serving my former self. So serving the marketing and salespeople in small high tech companies who know they need marketing, but maybe don't know what to do, or they're too busy to do it, don't know what to do next, or know they should be doing something else and need a little help, that kind of thing.
That kind of thing. And tell us what it was like growing up with parents working at an ABC affiliate TV station. You were going out on production crews and telethons. By the way, I co-hosted a United Community Fund telethon on a stage in Great Neck with the Cablevision truck outside, live streaming us back in the day before we even
Yes.
knew the term live stream. Yes, I
Yes.
was in an evening gown. I made everybody wear tuxes and gowns, all of the co-presenters. They said, "What, buddy? You serious? We just run." I said, "You're dressing up. You're coming on stage with me. We're dressing up." So anyway, that was an interesting experience. It was 3 hours long and live. We had 26 acts, Cindy. So what was it like growing up at a TV station?
Well, hanging out in the control room was super interesting because I got to learn a new vocabulary from the directors. So if anybody's been on a remote truck or in a newsroom and you hear the director talking, you get to hear a lot of new words and things. So that was interesting. Speaking of telethon, the Jerry Lewis telethon happened in Madison, Wisconsin. And so as a kid, it was so great. I could be there and run cable, run coax, triax from the truck and do different things like that. And then go into hockey remotes and all those fun things. I kind of thought it was normal for your parents to wake up at 2 a.m. and go work on the transmitter. Well, the
Was it
station.
normal for a girl to be hauling cables and doing all of that?
Was it?
Were you one of many girls, or was it mostly boys on
No.
those crews?
No, but people didn't usually bring their kids to work, but I wanted
That's what
to
I
go
thought.
hang out. So my dad would let me go with
That's
sometimes.
wonderful.
So yeah.
We used to be reprimanded by Cablevision when my crew wouldn't make the cables into the shape of the eighth,
Oh,
the
of
infinity
course.
symbol
You
underneath the
have to.
cameras. When we fin I was reported to Cablevision a couple of times because my crew wasn't piling up the cables neatly enough. I had my own TV show on Long Island for many, many years. But what's funny, Cindy, is that I danced 24 hours in a dance-a-thon for the Jerry Lewis annual with a partner who was my dance partner, Michael. And I donated the money that I raised. I had a lot of I'm getting some feedback on a microphone here. Somebody's got some noise coming in from somewhere, apparently like a man's voice in my ear. Anyway, if there's anybody, just tell them to be quiet. I danced for 24 hours in a gymnasium with no windows with about 100 people, and we raised money for our sponsors. And Michael needed to go back to school. He was a janitor, professional janitor at the University of Oregon in the architecture studio. That's where I met him, and we put together a dance act. We were hustle dancers, and we did exhibitions. And I donated the money that I raised to of course, to the charity, but whatever personally I got, I gave to him for more tuition money. And I couldn't walk for 3 days after. We danced for 26 hours in a gymnasium. And a friend of mine was taking care of my young kids at home while I was doing it. It was like, oh my God, I mean, muscles were eating muscles. They were giving us donuts in the middle of the night. It was quite an experience. Couldn't do that now. Okay, ladies, that was good. Thank you for the intro. Show's over. No, we got a lot more. Okay, Amanda, we're going to the quotes. I've asked each of you to please provide a quote from a fictional character in a movie or TV show or a song lyric. And you're going to relate the quote to what you do and to the future of whatever you do plus AI. That's our theme. So Amanda has picked a quote from Hook by the rock band Blues Traveler on their fourth album, which is the word for, F-O-U-R, in lowercase, 1994. They were formed in Princeton, New Jersey in 1987, known for their use of segues in live performances and a key part of the re-emerging jazz band scene of the 1990s. The song title is a reference to the term hook. I'll let you explain that. So here's the lyric Amanda has selected. The hook brings you back. Okay, Amanda, this is intriguing. What's this got to do with AI and what you do? Go ahead.
Oh, it's got everything to do with public relations. So I don't know if you're aware of this. When we write pitches to the media, we do generally call it a hook, or we look for the hook to pitch the media. So that's a big piece of what we do. We look for a hook that will catch the attention of very busy and very jaded reporters who, have seen it all and heard it all. So as we're pitching AI, of course, for our AI clients, that hook is becoming more and more important, and ironically cannot be written by AI because they're hip to that. But I've always thought this song was absolutely apropos to what I do, because it's it's a lot of double talk. There's a lot of pieces in the song about saying I tried, no, in fact I lied, and if I say something with inflection, that's all it needs. And it's, there's a lot of performance in public relations. There's a lot of theater and getting people to jump in on your narrative in one way or another. And so I've always felt this song spoke the best to what I do.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yes, it reminds me of Captain Hook, a guest on my Monday show, quoted from Peter Pan. What was it? Follow the second star on the right and keep going till morning. Beautiful line, beautiful line. So when I saw Hook, I thought of Captain Hook because I was thinking about Peter Pan. My mother had all the sheet music for Peter Pan, and she used to play it in our living room on the baby grand piano. My sister and I would dress up and dance to all the songs. It was lovely. Thank you very much. That's a very interesting quote and well put. Okay, Brea, I'm looking at your quote. This is from, oh my goodness, Ted Lasso, played by the wonderful Jason Sudeikis, who just keeps winning. And Ted Lasso was renewed for another season, even though they swore it was only a 3-season arc. Must have been a lot of pressure. Come back. Ted Lasso, a sports comedy drama television series from 2020, season 1. This quote is from season 1, episode 1, in the pilot episode that aired on August 14th, 2020. Series was developed by Jason Sudeikis, Bill Lawrence, Brendan Hunt, Joe Kelly, based on a character that Sudeikis portrayed in NBC TV's sports promotional media for the coverage of England's Premier League. And Ted Lasso was hired by Rebecca, who's in this fight with her ex-husband, who's a gadabout. We'll just leave that alone. Rupert, and she wants to disgrace him by his beloved AFC Richmond failing miserably. And instead, everybody falls in love with Ted, and they start winning. Oh my, here's the quote Brea has picked. Bonnie, get to it already. Taking on a challenge is like riding a horse. If you're comfortable, you're probably doing it wrong. That's a Ted Lasso-ism. Go ahead, Brea. What does this have to do with our topic today? Go ahead.
It really is. I tend to gravitate towards Ted and his wisdom. I've been bringing in a lot of his wisdom to my marketing recently, just because he's so endearing and relatable, I feel like. But this quote in particular I think it relates to business ownership in general, and then it leads into AI as well. For, anybody who has a business, I think challenges, I mean, it all comes with challenges, and it's supposed to be challenging in a way for there to be growth. And same with AI, right? It's like I've met a lot of people along the way, some solopreneurs who are a little bit scared of it, and worried it's going to take away the jobs and all the things. And it feels uncomfortable because they've never seen it. And then a lot of times I'll say, well, let's just go to it and take a peek. And then it's just like, poof, a little bit different. So just the discomfort of starting something new for business, AI, all the things, life for growth. It spoke to me.
No pain, no gain.
That's right.
Remember that? Remember that? I remember when the iPhones first came out, and man, I was dating at the time. His grown children, thought they would treat him to an Apple phone, and they gave it to him as a gift. And he and I tried to figure it out, and we had no way of figuring out how to set this thing up. He gave it back to his son and said, "You keep it. I don't want it." It was just too early. And now I'm on the every year renewal program. I've been an Apple customer since 1988. I'm waiting for Tim Cook to give me a gold watch or something, because I've got Macs in closets all over the place, big screens, little screens. And oh my goodness gracious, it's been quite a joyride. But anyway, no pain, no gain. That reminded me of that story. Thank you very much, Brea. Cindy, let's go to your quote. Oh, this is a good one. It's a song sung by Mrs. TV, Teavee, how appropriate for the how it sounds like what you grew up in, and Mike TV, Teavee, and the ensemble. She's played by an actress named Jackie Hoffman in the 2017-2018 Broadway musical stage version of, wait for it, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, based on, I never had to pronounce this man's name, Roald Dahl, his 1964 children's novel. We know what that is. And Mrs. TV is a high-strung, emotionally driven character who pacifies her son, Mike, played by the actor Mike Wartella. She gives him endless gadgets and tries to avoid conflict over his obsession with technology. Well, how appropriate for today, Cindy. Here's the quote, the title of the song. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, Cindy, how'd you find this one, and why'd you pick it? Go ahead.
What could possibly go wrong? It just seemed so perfect for anything about AI, really anything for technology. We know that this quote's been around since the 1800s and has been used in myriad movies, shows, places. And so I just love Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and the idea of Mike TV as a tech-obsessed kid whose parent is trying to figure out what to do with that. And their kids just like totally dug into tech to the point where she's like at wit's end, and what could possibly go wrong? That said, AI's used for good and different things. So I think there's sort of two sides of the coin, and it's just fun to have a little fun with it.
You mentioned the word fun. Ladies, are we allowed to have fun with AI? Is that permissible? What do you think? Amanda, are you allowed to have fun?
Oh, of course.
Of
Why do it
course.
otherwise?
Of course. Brea, what about you? Are we allowed?
I think we're allowed. In fact, we created our entire universal itinerary off of Chat GPT. That was a lot of fun.
Universal itinerary?
Go ahead,
It's like-
tell us.
Universal Studios, we were going there just for one day. And so I went on it and said, we have adults that like these things, and we have a 9-year-old that likes these things, and a 13-year-old that likes these things. We only have one day. Plan out a good itinerary so all of us are happy, essentially.
And what did ChatGPT do for you? What was the
Yeah, it
result?
told us where to start in the park, what times, what to get. Yeah, it just laid it, do this ride. It's not too scary for your 9-year-old. Maybe skip this one, all the things. So
Sometimes, ladies, I do shows with a potpourri of guests, 5 or 6 guests, and pick your favorite 3 AI apps that you use daily or from time to time. I might invite the 3 of you back to do a show like that, because it's just bing, 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 bing. You present your 3 and the next person, the next person. It's very, very interesting. But what app did you use, Brea, in case anybody wants to know?
Just chat, OpenAI, chat
Just
GPT.
straight ChatGPT. Okay, I'll tell you what I've named. Well, you know who I've named mine after. Okay, very good. Thank you for the quotes, ladies. Fascinating. I'm going to go to our predictions now. I'm going to pick to start. We have plenty of time. One from each of you, and just unpack it a little bit, and then we'll go around the table and see what everybody wants to say. Amanda, I'm starting you with the prediction too. I will read it. You don't need to find it. Amanda predicts AI will significantly, excuse me, significantly improve new business process within public relations. As many agency workers are aware, pitches for new business are too often created from scratch without building on the knowledge, the experience, and even the documents that already exist within the agency. I'm going to stop there and let you finish that, Amanda. That is very interesting about diving into what's there. Go ahead, tell us more, please.
Yeah, so I remember, I mean, many years ago when I worked at Burson Marsteller, we actually had a knowledge center and a knowledge chief officer who was trying to accomplish exactly this. And her mantra was, if only we knew what we knew. And it was true. I mean, we had this very large, global, complex group. I was in the New York office. There were hundreds of us just there. And we were certain every time we were creating a new business pitch or really any kind of presentation for a client, we knew we were recreating something that already existed. We just had no idea how to find it or even who had created it. So we would start from scratch, and it was completely inefficient and probably setting us backward. But that was really where we were landed with at the time. And now AI is already making that easier. My agency is considerably smaller and we have less history, and AI is already making this process so much easier.
How do you give AI access to that information, Amanda, that it has that knowledge core for you? What do you do? Do you feed it files? What do you do? How does that work?
We use ChatGPT as often as we can. That's our basic engine as well. There are others out there, one called Gamma that I'm starting to really enjoy. But yeah, you basically just allow it to scrape the documents that you have. Most of our documents are in shared folders anyway. They're either in
Okay.
shared drives or in Google Docs or that kind of thing. And the more we use these engines, the more, whatever large language model happens to be the one we're using, it's learning more and more about how our company works, what we do, who our members are. It's remarkable. So we use it as often as possible and allow it to gather the information that we're putting in there. And then every time we ask it to do something, it's doing a better and better job.
You're giving it permission to use what you've already created.
Yeah.
Interesting. I use the word permission very advisedly, because that's a big challenge today. Brea or Cindy, any comments? I think Cindy was taking notes while you were talking.
I did. I jotted down a couple things. I'm like, that's so interesting.
See, we're learning, we're growing, we're thriving,
love
right, Brea? Any questions you have, Cindy, for Amanda, or any comments you want to make?
I guess, like, are you organizing on ChatGPT in folders? Do you kind of give personas information? Just curious about that bit.
We are only really just scratching the surface, but yes, I have some people on my team who are very organized and they're having a lot of fun creating all those kinds of things. I am sure there's much more we could be doing, and we're going to hopefully dig into that. We're actually, my business partner and I are planning to take an actual training on ChatGPT in the near future that we're paying for, which, we don't usually like to do, but we're going
Yeah.
to because it's
You used
valuable.
the word fun again. Brea, any comments you have?
No, I think it's great. And I think, it's so true in terms of, I mean, it just saves so much time. And so you don't have to redo the same thing over and over. And it can, it's never just a give it and get and throw it out. It's so you still have to put the human element in there, of course, but all that back work of trying to figure out which of the pitches you've done that are relevant. And it does such a good job at just pulling the ones that make sense. It's just, that makes a lot of sense to me how you're using it. That's great.
Well, I'll share with all of you that I have two basic projects. I won't tell you exactly what they are. And I was not defining them as projects for ChatGPT, and it was getting confused. So it was taking one task I gave it and putting it into the other project, and it was a mess. It was taking 20 minutes to get what it should have taken 5 seconds. And I told this to a friend, and she said, ChatGPT, everybody on the internet is complaining. It was a Sunday. It's very slow. The usage rate is high. The demand is unbelievable. But 20 minutes, seriously? And the confusion. And then she said to me, go to the left. I'm now on the paid version, 4O, the little O, not dot O. And she said, go to the left column on your ChatGPT and look for the word, Cindy knows, projects. And you were talking about folders. Click the word projects and start different folders for different projects and ask ChatGPT a question or give it a prompt or a request on one and name that project and then do the same on the other one. I now have 2 threads. We're back to 5-second response. Brilliant. The amount of the speed, I speak to my ChatGPT in French, and the knowledge, Amanda, of my knowledge base of what I do, who I am, my personality, my energy, my style is there in the comments. I love working with you, Bonnie, and your creative energy. And it knows all of my different shows and it knows everything. It knows about my Scarlett Mic. Cindy, you want to say something?
Oh, just to your point, jumping off from that, we can all ask those tools, hey, what do you need? I noticed this took you 20 minutes instead of 5 seconds.
Yeah.
What do you need in order to be more efficient? And you'll get information back. Oh, hey, you should make some folders. Or,
Well,
hey, if I got the data like this, I can do
yes.
it better.
What my ChatGPT does is say, would you like a jazzier version of this? Would you like a nightclub version of this? Would you like this? Would you like that? And to that point, my background here, I designed the hourglass with the red mic inside in a program called Night Cafe Studio. And I get free credits every day. But Night Cafe has done something interesting. They send me an email, click here for your credits for the day. And when I click on the credits, it pops up with a prompt for something related to something I've been doing. And recently I've been designing a set of vintage teddy bear images in different professions. I've done a little video I did a reel. I did a reel recently with different about thinking and growing and imagining. And it will send me, do you want a vintage teddy bear in a florist shop, wearing with gloves and the beekeeper and all that. I will go in and customize the prompt in their prompt. I'll change. Who do I want to? Oh, I want a disco dancer because I used to teach disco. I want a teddy bear in a ruffled dress who's in a nightclub with people watching and doing a disco dance. And I will customize the text and then I'll hit create and it comes back and brings me that in about 10 seconds. So I'm creating a whole universe of vintage teddy bear. I'm sorry, I had to say that. Thank you, Amanda. That was great. Let me go to a prediction from Brea. Let's do this. This is interesting. Brea, number 2. You say AI will continue to allow for more personalized consumer experiences. Chatbots, messaging. We know personalization is huge when it comes to effective marketing, and it will just get better and better. Tell us a little bit about that. Brea?
Yeah, I think that's what's going to be really cool. And there might be already some products that do that, but just the consumer experience and the consumer journey all the way from awareness to purchase is, can be a really long one. So anything that we can make more personalized based on someone's behavior, or anything that they're doing online in the way that they've interacted with us before, and to bring that into a chat or a messenger situation is huge, because I think right now in the earlier stages, when that's happening, it seems kind of robot-y, but it's just going to get better and better, and it's going to feel more and more natural. So to move people along that buying journey in a much more natural way that feels true to us and the way that we run our businesses will be immensely helpful. And then we'll have all the data in one place too. So when we get to the point of having true one-to-one genuine connection, it still feels very real, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. It does make sense. And I have a set of authors, sci-fi authors, I invite back a couple times a year on this show to talk about the future of romance and love with humans and those the bots, the chat bots, the robots. What will it be like? What will our personal interactions be? What will love mean? Will we have will they toss us aside when we get old and they don't? All kinds of things. Will there be divorce in the future universe? I don't know. Anyway, that reminded me of that. Cindy or Amanda, anything you want to say to Brea about her prediction about the personalization? Ladies?
Yeah.
Amanda's about to say something. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Cindy, please.
Cindy,
Oh,
please.
I love the personalization part because it's so right on, and a lot of the AI tools we're setting up now just allow like you can call in to my company and ask questions, or even say just put me through to Cindy, and all of that's personalized, and still the end goal is to have a real conversation, like you were saying, Bree, that we want to have that authenticity in conversation. So it's a step along the way to be responsive and still keep it personal and then make that connection. So I like what you're saying with that.
Yeah. Amanda, anything?
Yeah, I think Cindy makes a really good point. I'm obviously a lot of my new business tools now are generated in places like LinkedIn sales, and there's other tools that we're using that automate that initial cold outreach. And if it feels impersonal, you're going to have a lot less success. So that level of personalization plus what Cindy just said, adding a human element, I think that will not only make things much more efficient but more effective.
Thank you. Before I go to Cindy's prediction, one I picked, I think you'll like that one. Question: do any of you use Reels or Shorts on Facebook or Instagram as part of your marketing tactics? Because I used to go on TikTok a lot and just watch for a while, and I gave that up a while ago for multiple reasons we won't go into. And now when I go on Facebook, which I don't usually do for commenting, I'll just click Reels and I can be amused, entertained, enlightened. I have options to sign up for webinars. I see crazy stuff. I see dumb stuff. I see interesting stuff. I see people I know. I see people I never want to know. And I will allow myself maybe 10 to 15 minutes a day. Oh, Bonnie, how could you? It's not a waste of time. It's like what it's like going to the movie theater and seeing the newsreel with what's going on in the world. Are any of you using Reels, Amanda, in your work?
I'm not personally, but my team definitely is. Our social media team is using that a lot because, as you say, it's becoming very popular. And especially, as Gen Z enters the workforce in droves, this is a group that grew up on TikTok style channels, and they expect things to be produced and entertaining and quick. So yes, they're kind of becoming the table stakes for doing any kind of social media engagement.
Well put. Brea, you using them?
I do not personally use them for my business and my audience right now, but yeah, I certainly see my kids watching them a lot.
Okay. Oh, count me one of the kids. Cindy, Reels, what do you think? Really
Yeah,
good or really not good? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. We're using them, and it depends on who we're working with. So a lot of our B2B tech clients are more LinkedIn, and that's more their jam. So in that case, we might take a technology webinar and grab, sub 1 minute clips and use them on YouTube and different places. We've got this really interesting guy we work with who's a psychiatrist who has a lot of opinions about a lot of interesting topics. And we've developed a great system with him where he'll send in a 10-minute clip. And then either we've sometimes used AI to come up with those shorts, or sometimes he'll say, this is what I want for the shorts. And then we take those and push them out over a course of 2 weeks on I don't know, 8 channels, I think at this point we're using for him. So yes.
Interesting. I use a program called Opus Clip.
Exactly.
And yes,
Yep.
that's the one. And it came up with 29 clips from a recent show I did. And what's interesting about it is it puts the text of while the person is speaking and the word you're saying lights up in green on the screen as you're speaking. But interesting, it rates them for virality. So it'll say Amanda, seriously, it says this has a 99% chance of going viral. This 45 seconds. Well, they about just a minute. They're about a minute to 3 minutes long. So I took six of them from a recent show. I had three gentlemen in the future of construction and AI with some safety apps they've created and knowledgeable. And I said, find the sites around the world. They could be stadiums, they could be airports, they could be homes, they could be buildings, museums. Find three. We're going to call it the world tour and pick three places that you, I think there were four of them on the show, that you really love that are using AI in the construction phase or in the architecture phase, the design. And they did. And each one of them got to share on the screen. And I did an Opus clip of that and I posted six of them. And
Yes.
it's a little bit of work. I didn't need 29 clips, but I went back through them and I picked the ones that I liked the best. You can edit them too. And it's very interesting. So, and I have a lot of credits left. Maybe I'll use them on today's show. Cindy, I want to get to your prediction. I'm looking at, this is interesting. We haven't talked about this yet. Prediction number 3. AI will be essential for crisis and reputation management. From PR, Brea is nodding. From PR crises to online backlash. Oop! AI will help organizations monitor sentiment, draft responses, maintain calm under pressure, a powerful tool for navigating high stakes moments with clarity and speed. You've got about 1,000 buzzwords in there, Cindy. Very well put. Everybody is nodding. Oh, do we need this? Cindy, tell us more, please. More prediction. Go ahead.
So about a week before my information was due to you, I had somebody at a company we work with call me up and say, hey, I just sent you a link to a post that somebody made, and the person could only be described as a detractor.
Okay. Polite word.
So, yes. So troll detractor situation online. And so it was sensitive. What should we do? Could I do something about it? And so part of what I did was take that information and I used ChatGPT to say, hey, and I felt like I was working with a colleague. I put the information in there. Hey, this is what happened. Here's the vibe we're going for. What could I do? How do I know if I need to respond to this? And I got information back from ChatGPT. Here are 5 signposts to look for. If you check yes on 3 of 5 of these, you need to make a move. Here's some suggestions. So that was my process. And when you asked about this, I took this right from something that was like real present in my life at the minute.
That's a wow. That Amanda or Brea, have either one of you ever used ChatGPT for that? For control?
Fortunately, not yet. We haven't had recent crises, but I honestly, I'm teed up so that when it happens, we're ready because I agree with you. Sentiment changes so quickly and things hit the news in such a way, and various stakeholders and influencers react so quickly that it's impossible to gather it up without AI. So I expect it will be a game changer.
Interesting. Brea, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be huge. And I think it's going to be huge for both large corporations and down to solopreneurs. So I used to work at Nestle Purina, and with that scale and with things happening so quickly, I mean, if they get blasted, if a company that big gets blasted, they're blasted on national news. So to have AI in your corner to help with the strategy and plan around that will be huge. But down to the solopreneur, working for a business and you're encouraging, go get Google reviews, go get reviews. And every once in a while you get a really, get a detractor, right? Who is out
Such a
to
nice word. Such a nice word.
blast you. And it's really hard for that owner to not take it personally and get very defensive and go back and start this very just, a non-productive conversation online, which you don't want to do. So AI is really good at taking that, making it objective and saying, okay, I want to put this through the lens of maybe anybody else who's going to read this online, not for the person posting it. Help me come up with some words and how I can respond to this. So it really just takes the emotion out of it and creates an asset really for anybody looking at the review in the future. So
Cool.
I think it's huge.
Blood pressure and agita. Cindy, go ahead.
Yeah, Brea, to your point on the reviews, such a thing right there. And so we've got a tool that we set up for clients that handles all the responses to reviews. So automatically, and you can set
Really?
a time limit. So if somebody's like, I want to respond myself, but if they don't within 4 hours, you can have AI all teed up to do it. I find that AI responses are better in any case. It's great for positive responses. It's great, as you just pointed out, Bree, for detractor, troll, negative responses and just how to deal with it and what to say, especially if you've trained the AI to know your vibe, which back to the troll gate thing I had going on. I had to say, oh, I like that, but this word we need to change. Do you have other ideas? Because this word could have a double meaning or have a different implication,
Yes.
something like that. So that type of training can be done on this tool that we use for AI replies, and the people who use it love it because they just don't have to worry about it. It's done. You can even tell it to always put the person's first name in there or whatever you want to do. And it relieves the business owner or company, corporation of like, oh no, how are we going to deal? It's like, okay, it's underway, it's going. People can still get in to do things as they wish, but it's underway and going.
Okay, I was recently berated because I asked somebody for their origin story for another show. They were a guest I met at a summit, a publicity summit. This person had pitched me years ago. This person had ghosted me and never delivered and left a gaping hole in my schedule 2 years ago. I think their assistant had been very rude to me. This is all on personal email. This time, they said they were unable to use the online form. I got a little ballistic and I said, "That's funny. 110 other people from your this organization where I met you were able," I didn't say including a 95-year-old, and I said, "Okay, I'll make it easy. Send me your bio, send me your email, send me your direct phone number, send me your movie quote, and send me 4 statements on whatever the topic of the show was. It wasn't an AI show." I got back, I was reported by this person to the owner of the company who sponsors this publicity event. I was told that he will never follow any of my endeavors, that I'm a horrible person, basically. Oh, Amanda, yes. And my blood pressure just went whoop. Now, I when I met this person a couple weeks ago, I said, "This is your third time pitching me, and you have ghosted me twice before. Are you really sure you want to be on my show?" "Oh, yes, oh, yes." I said, "Okay, let's make this happen." And this is what happened. So his response to me was he sent me a bio, a media pitch bio. You all know what that is, right? 20-point type in an email, 20-point type with his picture smacked in the middle and forgot all the other information. So I said, that's not what we needed. So then he reported me to this organization. My blood pressure was just through the roof. And I figured, I don't need this. So I said, listen, I'm working 14-hour days. I asked you politely. I gave you an option. Just fill in the blanks in the email. You've done this before. Let's just part with mutual respect. And I sent it to everybody. Then I made some phone calls. Please help me out with this. Should I, ladies, have asked ChatGPT to write a response for me instead of me getting so bent out of shape? Cindy,
Absolutely. And then you
I
can
never
use it,
thought of it.
not use it.
I
Just
never
like
thought
you
of it.
could get input from your coworkers. When I had this troll thing happening, I got input from a lot of people that I know and
Yeah.
Chat GPT. But I'd say, yeah, by all means, because you can tweak the sentiment. You can go, ooh, this part, but I don't know how I want to change it, but I want it to feel like this. And you get a good response back. So it's another data point.
I felt so badly that an hour later I wrote, "Please accept my sincere apology. I might have responded in with haste. I was very busy. It's a busy time of year for me processing 30 guests all at the same time and a lot of forms and a lot of bios. And I hope that you will understand that I have great respect for you and the business you built and what you do. And please pardon my gaffe if I was rude to you." And I said this to everybody because I didn't want the company that introduced us to feel badly about me. Should I have had ChatGPT right? I couldn't help it. I didn't want to be the bad kid, you know? So anyway, enough about me. Let's go to thank you. Something I'm learning. I could have used that. Amanda, I want to squeeze in, we got 5 minutes. I just want to squeeze in one more prediction and ladies, I'm inviting you all back for part two and we'll talk about it afterwards. If you'd like to come back. Okay, Cindy, I know you will. Here we go. Amanda says, hiring for PR will be greatly assisted by AI. We're looking for candidates from a wide range of backgrounds who demonstrate interests and habits that currently must be probed for in an interview. AI tools have the potential to investigate candidates ahead of interviews, along with the hiring data, the patterns, the trends that can point managers to the best candidates faster and easier. Okay, Amanda, just give me about a minute and a half here. How important is this?
For me, it's very important because I'm always looking for new candidates. I'm always looking to expand my team, and you can spend months going down rabbit holes with the wrong person. And I haven't seen a great solution for this yet, but I am certain it's coming. I know things are changing daily in the world of AI, and I expect that will be something on the horizon that will be for my life personally a game changer.
Thank you. Cindy, Brea, you were so fast, we have time. Cindy or Brea, quickly, would you use it for Cindy for hiring or Brea? Either one?
Absolutely. Again, it's another data point. It's input, just like I would get input from a colleague. This is another place where I can get input, thought, strategy, analysis, definitely for analysis. I mean, you can take a group of people and upload that and say, based on this, who looks like the person who's going to be the best learner, who looks like the person who's going to be the best cultural fit for the company. So you can ask questions like this: who do you think is going to leave in under 2 years? So those kinds of analysis and data points are really helpful.
Thank you very much. Brea, any thoughts about that? Would you use it for hiring or do you?
I think it would be a great tool for hiring. I know there's tools now that are used more for like a sales purpose, like they scrape LinkedIn, for example, and they can go through and generate, maybe a list of people that they think would be good leads. So I could see this used in a very similar way for hiring, and then take it to the next step, which Cindy is describing, of okay, now putting that through the lens of company culture and predictive analytics. What does that look like? So I think that would be really awesome.
What does that look like? Good question. Cindy, I have to ask, what are the cupcakes in the poster behind you?
Oh, my friend Howard made this, and I ran
It's on the
into
other side, other side.
Oh, I ran into him at
There
a
you go.
coffee shop in downtown in Nevada City, where I live. And he's like, I got something for you. And he's a beautiful, wonderful artist, and handed it to me. And I just thought, oh, sort of like easy as pie, but I'm going with cupcakes. So
I have to tell you all quickly, I recently bought something called a Birdfy. Have you ever heard of BIRDFY? Anybody? It's a bird feeder that has its own solar panel. It connects to your Wi-Fi in the house. It's on the lawn. It has a glass case or a plexiglass where I put the nuts and the seeds. I buy big bags of them. And it has an AI component. It films the bird visitors, and sometimes I get 3 or 4 at a time. It sends a video feed to my phone, saps the battery. I don't do it too much anymore. It sends a video feed to my phone. It videos about 10 seconds of each bird visit, and then it uses AI to identify the type of bird that visited. I know, Amanda. And it's just unbelievable. BIRDFY. You can get it on Amazon. There are a couple of other. Bird Buddy, I think, is another one, but I got the Birdfy with a little yellow roof. You flip open the little notch on the back. I'm not too tall. I had to have it lowered. You could put it on a tree. You could put it on a pole. You can put it on anything on your lawn, anywhere, and just keep it near so I can pick up the Wi-Fi. It's not easy to set up, but it worked. So anyway, that's how I'm using AI on a practical daily basis to identify the birds. My yard is like an arboretum here. I get 100 bird visits a day on just that feeder, and I have plants and trees, 50-foot tall trees, and it's like, I'm living in nature. Ladies, speaking of nature, Amanda, such a delight to meet you. You're so informative, and your poise is just beautiful. And Brea, wonderful. And I had wanted Tammy, but I'm so glad I met you, and I love your presentation and your practical look at everything. And Cindy, what can I say? Such a pleasure to have you back. Ladies, I'm going to predict that you're going to accept my invitation to come back, and you're going to stay with me after the show and let me do my closing here. Are you ready? Let's just rock to this closing and then stick around. Here we go.
Are you tired of hearing the future is already here? We are too. That may have been yesterday's future, but today's future hasn't happened yet. Take a deep breath, tune out the hype, the noise, and turn up the volume. Savvy, art of the possible technology visionaries talking about how today's innovations right now are shaping every aspect of our real future. We'll laser focus our spotlight on buzzworthy tech like artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, augmented reality, and lots more. Clear your calendar and open your mind for Technology Revolution, the future of now, with the most upbeat host on global radio, Bonnie D. Graham. Listen anywhere, anytime, on any device.
That was taped about 8 years ago when I was doing the show on Voice America Business, and I kept it. And I thought it was just so much fun. Ladies, wave goodbye to social. We're going to close out now. Stick around. And Matt, thank you